Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and I'm joined here by superfan Devin Circus, and this is the Week 10 recap of Jungle Talk. And man, this one hurt. This hurt. I have
I
had
didn't think it I didn't think it would be possible, but this one hurts more than the first Baltimore game.
yeah, no, and it's you know, I look back at this season and I just say, we had the pass interference against Kansas City, we had the botched hold in Cincinnati, and then this with the no call on the face mask. But still, I mean, there were other opportunities.
What
I
about the
just,
two holds also?
oh yeah, no, it's
There were two blatant fouls on that. I mean, blatant. Like the refs
it,
will get a letter or whatever the hell they do with these fucking idiots.
yeah, no, it's
But two blatant missed calls and Hudson, I don't know if he got held, but you don't have to call the Hudson one. But Gesicki got assaulted and Burrow had his face mask yanked.
right. And they had missed the previous one. They caught the one on Yoshi, right? He pulls him to the ground by his face. But I just, I'm just going back. So you look at those three games, and it's like it's the difference between being 7-3 and 4-6. I mean, it's
Right. And then throw
everything.
in the Pats game. I mean,
Well, the Pats game was our own fault. I mean, that's
correct.
self-inflicted. But the other ones, it's just, you just look, and these are games that, we let slip away and didn't get. And, it's just frustrating. It's been the story of the whole season. You texted something on that thread that a couple of the people were clearly they don't belong in that thread. They don't have the stomach for it. But
We'll start a new thread. What did
yeah,
I text?
but you said about Herbert's debut as a he gets his first touch, he fumbles, and we don't see him again. It's like I was like, yeah, that is typical. Just it's just such a Bengal.
If anything can typify what it's like being a Bengal and a Bengals fan, it was Khalil Herbert's Bengals debut first play tonight.
Right. So, but hey, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Support the channel. It's by fans for fans. We do these recaps for you. As painful as these are sometimes, we do these recaps for you right after the game so you have something. I know you're going to get the other more polished shows later in the week because they do more production, but like I said, this is just a organic show by fans for fans. Please support the channel. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube and hit the bell so you get, when our recaps, our previews and our recaps go up. So, but this was just, I had all these stats. Let's go back to the third
Hang
and
on,
two.
before we dive in,
Yeah.
hats off to Jamar Chase. I mean, unfucking believable.
Oh, I had amazing. I mean, and Burrow. I mean, this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more can they do? It's just frustrating because I know that you are what your record says you are, but when you look at this team, I mean, does this look like a 4-6 team? The numbers are putting up the last 4 weeks. I mean, how they played. I know they say, "Oh, well, look at who you've beaten," but look at how he played Kansas City and look at how he played Baltimore both times. I mean, if we can somehow, because I think we can afford one loss. Isn't that what we figured now?
We're 4-6. Yeah, I mean, you got to go 6-1 to get in. Although,
Right.
frankly, 5-2 could get into this AFC. I mean,
Right. All right. So
again,
let's
we're
just say,
chasing the Chargers, the Colts, and the Broncos.
right.
And just for the record, Jake made this point. Jake and I were talking about this the other day. Everybody's handing a wild card spot to Pittsburgh. Their schedule's absolutely brutal,
Right.
and
And it
everybody's
starts
handing
next
them the
week.
5 seed.
Yeah. Well, it starts this week. They've got Washington this week, but then they have the
Yeah,
Ravens right after that. They've already had
yeah.
their bye
They
week.
haven't played a division game yet. I mean, I know we've
No,
talked about that a
no.
couple times throughout the season. They haven't played a divisional game yet, and
Love to see the
who
Browns
knows?
step up and help us out there, but yeah, no, it's so if we can
What's
somehow
Pittsburgh? 6-3?
6-2 no, 7-2.
Really?
Yeah. Take a
Okay,
look. Am I right?
I will. Go ahead. You keep going. I'll look it up.
Oh yeah. So if we could somehow do the 5-2 or the 6-1 to finish, we're going to be the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. I mean, think about how Joe's playing. Think about,
Yeah.
I mean, if we could somehow do it, but we just seem to we just seem to find I'm not gonna say because it's not all self-inflicted, but we aren't winning these games. That's all. The ball's not bouncing our way. I guess that's the best way to put it. You know, we're
Yeah.
not getting the
Yeah.
calls. We're not. The ball's just not bouncing our way. But if we could somehow sneak in, we can be we'll be the team they'll say that no one wants to face. Because we play, and clearly we play better on the road than we do at home. I mean, so and we wouldn't have a home game. So just kind of holding out hope there.
You know what? I love you, Mark. I don't want to talk about what the Bengals would look
No,
like as
I
a
the only
playoff
thing
team.
I wanted to
They're
bring up,
four
the
and
only thing I
six.
wanted to bring up was first of all, I wanted to give the that tackle right before half on Mike Hilton, keeping the guy.
Unbelievable.
That saved us three
Unbelievable.
points. It's not all negative, but I do want to talk about the call on. I know you can throw long on one of the two plays,
Oh,
but
it
third
was
and two,
awful.
fourth and two,
It was
going
awful. There's
booed.
third down, you can do whatever you want. You can run the ball, you can throw it deep. But and honestly, I need to see a different angle. They didn't show any different angles. The pass was intended for Burton. I got to assume that Jamar was short. I think that was a Burrow decision. I don't think that was a play call.
Okay,
I need to see it. I'm
all right,
holding out reservations. But I think that was Burrow going for it.
yeah.
And whether if it was, it's a bad. You can't do that unless the guy's wide open.
No, the idea is move the sticks and get a new set of downs. So just frustrating. Like I said, to be sitting here at 4-6 and be putting up the kind of numbers we're putting up and playing against the top teams in the AFC. When we're talking about we haven't played the Bills and we're not going to play them unless we see them in the postseason. But
Yep.
boy, wouldn't we be a nightmare to show up in Buffalo? Wouldn't they just love to see us
Yeah. Or
in the
Houston.
playoffs
Send
as
me
the
to
road
Houston.
team?
I'll take Houston.
So, but I'm just thinking about, just in terms of history, being the team you don't want to play. Oh, here come the Bengals again
Oh,
into
yeah.
into
Yeah. Yeah.
Buffalo for the playoffs. So, but
Yeah.
we don't play Buffalo, but we played at Baltimore. I mean, we at least should have had a split. We should have not botched the hold and gotten the win in Cincinnati.
Will you
Um,
stop putting that game on the hold? That game's on the coach.
yeah. Oh, I agree, but we still had a chance to win, and it was just one. So the bottom
We
line
never
is.
had a chance when the coach screwed the pooch.
Yeah, well, the it's just frustrating. This team, it's frustrating. It's hard to you sit there 4-6, you just scratch your head. So so what are you gonna do? It's here we are.
I
So
don't know.
we'll
Let me
probably
circle
get really
back.
good
We
views
left
on
it.
this
Hang
because the
on.
Ravens fans like to troll us. So just brace yourselves for all the comments about, well, if Hamilton was in the game, it wouldn't even been close and blah 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 blah. We'll just because
Am I
no.
allowed to do this?
Yeah, you are. It's funny how when the comments start coming in, you'll see the uneducated. There are Ravens fans that are educated and will make intelligent comments. Hey, you guys gave us everything, but they'll be the ones that say they kicked our ass, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah. No,
did you guys watch
I've
the
got a
game?
very good friend that's a Ravens fan. We were texting the whole game, and he's a normal one.
Yeah, no, there's and I had a really good exchange. If you go back to the Chiefs game and look at some of the comments, I had a very good exchange with one of the Chiefs fans who actually questioned the PI call at the end. But it's just you're going to have those. But we'll get good views on this because they'll troll us and they'll laugh. Boo-hoo Bengals fans.
And look, I'll say it, hats off. They did everything they needed to do. This
Oh
is
yeah,
this,
hey, listen, they won the
let's go
game.
back a little bit. At 21-7, they punted to us, and I've never heard boos like that in that stadium. They were
No,
getting booed out of the stadium when they punted away to us down 21-7.
so we really, really needed that Cam Taylor Britt pick. That would have
Yeah.
changed. I mean, it just scored. We would have gotten Burrow. You saw him eagerly grab his helmet and go running out there. Um, that would, we just it seems like every game there's like a play or two where you just kind of go, but what if? But what if? And this whole season's been a whole season of but what if. So,
And just for the record, that's the best play Cam Taylor Britt made all game, and it was a play he didn't make.
right.
He
Well,
is awful. He is useless.
the play where that guy Wilson was late and they didn't knock him out, but that all starts. They all assumed Britt was making the tackle, but you can't assume
I
that.
I don't agree with that. Herb Street said that. I don't agree. I watched that. I rolled that back a couple times. And my take on that is I don't know who made a worse play, CTB Logan Wilson or Geno Stone. I don't think, and even if they did, obviously, shame on them. I don't think they did. I think they just all screwed the pooch.
Yeah, bad angles, and just need a little more of a shove off on Logan Wilson. But this whole season, that's our whole season. It's been, but what if this? But what if that? And that's why we're 4-6. So, we got the
I mean, the
Chargers
amazing
next.
thing is when this is 2 games in a row. Memory serves me. I think Lamar was pretty good on the ground in the first game. I think he ran for a lot. But Derrick Henry did nothing. He got his touchdown. Okay, dude. He's going to score every game when you
Well,
hand
and
him
you
the
hand it to him
ball
at
at the
the
play,
two.
don't
I
you?
mean,
Huh?
his touchdown, it was like from the 2 yard line,
Well,
the
that's
one
what I
yard
mean.
line.
He
Yeah,
got a
whenever we
touchdown, but
tackled,
he didn't beat us. His longest run, he had an 11-yard run.
well,
Lamar
Jackson
didn't
beat
beat
us.
us on the ground. I mean, okay, the one play he made, unbelievable. Again, BJ Hill, you got to get him out of bounds. The 4 other guys that missed him, I don't know how that happened, but
Pratt
yes,
missed him. I was looking at everybody who got. Pratt had the best shot at him.
yes,
Linderbaum put a good block on one
yep.
of them, but Pratt had the best chance and didn't get him.
Yep.
He was.
But my point is, Lamar, they were scoring on that drive regardless of what was going to happen. Lamar didn't beat us on the ground. Derrick Henry didn't beat us. It's 2 games in a row. We got beat by Lamar's arm. And that's what pisses me off.
No.
We got beat by Lamar's arm. And
Yeah,
fuck,
we got beat by his legs too. So there were a couple of scrambles where it's like we got no sack. We got, if I memory says, we had no sacks today on Lamar
there's
Jackson.
no way we did. There might have been one. No, he got back to the line of scrimmage, 0 sacks.
Zero
And
sacks
they
today.
only had three. How did they only have 3 sacks? All from Matabuke.
They just got a lot. They hit.
Matabuke abused Volston tonight.
Yeah,
Abused him.
we're in the
Cody
draft.
Ford
We have
actually
to.
did a decent job.
New guard is a priority in the draft.
Yeah, the line was
I know they
dreadful.
don't like to draft guards in the first round, but
Well, you can't
maybe
draft a
second
guard in
round.
the
But
first round.
we have to throw resources at guard. I mean, we just really do. So, um,
Yep.
and I don't know what else to say other than,
And I really think I don't. I'm not good enough to be an expert on analyzing the line. I know that Burrow is running for his life. I feel like it wasn't from the outside. I feel like Ford and Mims both did a good job. I feel like it was all the middle. I could be dead wrong. Again, don't
we'll watch
kill
the
me.
game again, and
I'm not an expert, but I felt like all the pressure was coming from mostly the middle.
yeah.
I feel like I also feel a lot of it was coverage. Their coverage was good. And look, they're good. It doesn't take long for Matabuke and those guys to get in.
Well,
They got the big guy in the middle, Washington. He had a pretty good game. He was up on Burrow. He bounced off him a couple times. Only one got called.
yeah. So, they you know. It's just this hurts. Like I said, we had a shot at 5-5 and one game back in the division at 2-1. You know, division record, and so and
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. 5-2, 6-1. That's how we've got to finish the remaining games. Is it doable? Yeah, I mean this team's playing well enough to do it. Um,
yeah,
and we've got the teams lined up. Pittsburgh's going to be our two toughest games are both Pittsburgh.
yeah.
Dallas is with Dak out now. Dallas is not the
Oh, that's
team.
right.
The Dallas is not the game we thought it would be. Uh, we have another
He
Browns
could be
game, I
done for the
think.
year too.
What's we got the Chargers and then our bye week, right?
Yep. Yep. Then
And then
Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. I mean, look,
Steelers. We
as
just if
frustrated
we
as I am, as little faith as I have, I'll still stare at you in the face and say, this team could go 7-0,
split the Steeler games and go 6-1.
or they could go 2-5.
Yeah, well, you know. So we'll see. I just, like I said, I know you are what your record says you are. I agree because at the end of the day, you look at the standings, we're 4-6. It's like a baseball scorecard. The check swing single is still a single, and the hot smash line drive is still an out, even though,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. I can see this team, like I said, if we sneak in, if we get into the dance and we do a five and
No, stop. You know what? We don't have the right to say, we don't have the right to talk like
Well,
that.
no, I'm just trying to keep optimism. I'm trying to keep this as more upbeat, even though
No,
I
you're not
feel really
allowed. I'm
down.
not, you're
So
not allowed. You're not allowed. You know what we
I'm not
need to
allowed.
talk about?
Okay.
We
Yeah,
need to talk
I
about,
guess you're
have
right.
you ever, have you, I'm going to go back and look. I don't know the numbers. how many 14-point leads have we blown this year?
Oh,
I put a comment to a buddy that I was texting with. I said, I've never seen a team, a 14-point lead is a kiss of death for this team.
no.
And
No.
it's not like they came out running, they didn't come out conservative. There's two other things we got to talk about. The Chase Brown fumble, look, it happens, but it can't happen there. He was fighting for the first down. It was like a 9-yard gain.
Just
We
go
as
down.
Bengal fans, I mean, the second he fumbled, I think I was texting, Jake and I were texting most of the game. I said, I've seen this book. I've read this book before. This game's over. We just lost this game. They're
Yeah.
going to walk in for a touchdown. They're going to stop us. This game's going to be tied. My Ravens buddy, when, why am I blanking? Tucker missed the extra point and we were still up one. I'm like, dude, don't worry. On your next touchdown, you'll get a 2-point conversion and be up
And
7.
they did. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So,
The other thing I think we need, let's talk about going forward on two. I think it's 1,000,000%, a million percent the right play. I
oh,
don't,
100%.
yeah,
No, I'm not.
I do, and the number one reason I say that, and Jake will tell you, go for it every time in that scenario. If there's less than 20 seconds left, I don't think they go for it. I think you take your chance in overtime. But because they had 45 seconds left, both timeouts, there's a really good chance you're not even going to get to overtime. So I love going for it. I'm going to go on record as saying I don't think they go for it if there's less than 20 seconds left.
Right. Yeah. So,
The other thing, speaking of late in the game, I don't know that I've ever seen, and again, I'm not the expert on this, but I know enough to be dangerous. I don't know that I've ever seen two coaches mismanage the last 3 minutes of the clock like we saw in that game. As soon as it got inside 3 minutes, they were in the red zone. You have to start using your timeouts.
oh,
We never should have gotten the ball back. Now, it actually worked out when they picked up that chunk play to get down to the 8. That was the best thing that could have happened for us. But Harbaugh throwing it on second down
right.
and third down and not forcing us to use the timeout
Right.
was unbelievable.
Right.
But as soon as we didn't call timeouts with 3 minutes left, I said to Jake, I said, we have now made this game. We had a chance to really make this a long 3 minutes, and we have completely shortened this game up. And then Harbaugh just turned. I mean, fuck, we scored. We ended the game with a timeout.
Right.
We never used a timeout that entire drive.
Right. No, the timeout was used when we set up the 2 point, wanted to see
Correct.
the
Yeah.
formation, and I don't know that I would have used it then unless you
I
learned
didn't
something
like
and
it
you
because we
wanted.
had Jamar out on an island and we had what we wanted. I didn't like the timeout.
Right.
I'd love to
If
know
you
what the
had the matchup
strategy
you
was there.
wanted, why give them a chance to regroup? Go
Mhm.
in and do what your number one play was. So,
Right.
but I
And
do.
if you know you're going to call a timeout because you want to see what they're doing, why do you set up in your number one play formation and
Right.
then go back to something similar? It wasn't the same formation. It was similar,
Right.
but like tomorrow wasn't as wide. The slant was not an option when they initially came out. The slant was an option. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But who are we kidding? Even if we'd gotten the 2-point conversion, Tucker would have made a 63-yard field goal to win it.
something like that. Yeah, that would have been, once again losing in Bengal fashion. But I agree with you 100% on going for two. I was like when you can win the game on one play. We're both gamblers, push the chips to the table, go all in, and do it.
Yeah.
And look, you can go to Gerard Mayo regrets not going for two. We can look back on multiple games where it was like, why didn't you just go for two? But all right, well, like I said, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Support the channel. By fans, for fans. It's what it is. It's what it'll always be. Give us a thumbs up. Helps us out with the YouTube analytics on YouTube. And we'll be back with the preview of the Charger game a week from today. And there you go. It is what it is. So
We
watch
got a long
whatever
ways to
game
go
you
to
want
watch
on
this kid play
Sunday.
football.
What's that?
What's that?
I was telling everybody watch whatever game they want on Sunday because
Oh,
we're
sorry.
not on,
Sorry.
and we will be back with our preview on Thursday. So I'm going to say, hoot everybody, hang in there and keep your heads up. Take
Boo
care.
day.